Alright guys, today we're checking out the Galaxy A70. You guys wanted to see the refurbished products on Amazon, like the actual unboxings of them. Every time I get refurbished products, they are pretty good quality from Amazon. Now, I can't speak for eBay. I've had some hiccups with eBay with like phones coming with screen burns and stuff like that, but overall, Amazon has been pretty good. So here is your fast charging brick, USB Type-C. That's pretty much it. So you just get a generic box here. But let's check out the phone itself. Alright, so the body itself looks pretty much perfect. I don't see like scratches. I don't see any real imperfections here with the body at all. So I really like that. The screen looks pretty clean as well. So just to go around the body here, we do have our power button, volume rockers on the right side, and down below we have a single firing speaker, USB Type-C, and our headphone jack. And then of course on the back we have our triple camera setup, some little branding right here, and I think the design looks pretty good. It's got the same design as the A51, and as you guys can see, you guys see how well, what do you guys think? Do you guys think phones with sort of the older camera module setup look dated now compared to the ones with like the kind of iPhone-ish kind of setup? So what do you guys think? But it has the same, what Samsung calls like the glass stick thing, which, you know, I deal with a lot of plastic phones and budget phones. It doesn't feel like glass at all. If you pick up an actual glass phone, you can tell the difference immediately. But it looks good. It has a super cool design. I love this design. It's so cool to look at. Makes you really not want to put a case on this phone, and it's a pretty big phone. I'm not gonna lie, it's a big phone. It's comfortable to hold once you get used to it, but if you have like small hands, I would get a case just so you can like grip it easy, because it's very thin as well and you don't want to strain like your hand, and you're gonna be doing this a lot, like the shimmy thing. So this phone does have one-handed mode to, you know, help with that, but I would get a case just so you can, you know, grip it more. If you have like bigger hands, it's not an issue. So you have a beautiful 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display. It's 1080p, 393 for the PPI. For 200 bucks, this is really awesome. Like I said, I'll put the link down below, 218, but this was really awesome this way. I mean, it's really nice, super vibrant. Blacks are really deep. You do have a little bit of notch and a little bit of bezel, but honestly, for 200 bucks, who cares? And I just love the screen on here. It's big, it's very colorful, seems very accurate as well, and I believe we can adjust the temperature on here too. And this is running One UI, Android 10. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, right here. So we can adjust that to the more natural tone, and you see what that looks like. But I like the more vivid kind of look. Someone also had asked about like the sharpness of the PPI. It's 393, so it's pretty on par with most phones. For the average person, you really won't be able to tell. Can you tell from a 1440p display? Sure, but I mean, honestly, it looks really good, super sharp. So let's go ahead and talk about Android 10 with One UI. It runs super smooth on this phone, and smoother than the A51, which I'll do a comparison with that one, since this one is actually cheaper, refurbished now, but you can still get new. I think this is still like 300 bucks. But One UI is fairly smooth on here. Let's go ahead and talk about the features that you get. Your secured folder is on here, as well as your link to Windows. You also have your dark mode on this phone as well. Dolby Atmos is on board too, and you do have screen recording on here as well, right here. So everything that, you know, the little essential stuff built into One UI, you would really like. Your gestures on here work super smooth as well. You can also use the buttons, of course, and you can customize your always on display as well. Go to our advanced features. We do have that one-handed mode, so if you want to go ahead and use that, you do have that on here, because it is, you know, a big phone, and all of your classic Samsung stuff is on here, so it's not lacking anything. Your pop-up view is still on here as well. So one thing I don't see is the Samsung Edge on here. So I don't see that by default. So it might be hiding in the settings, but it's not on here by default. With the A70, you have the Snapdragon 675, and you also have the Adreno 612 GPU, 128 gigs of storage, and you also have 6 gigs of RAM on here as well. So the phone is pretty good when it comes to gaming. Of course, it's not going to max everything out, but as you can see on Call of Duty Mobile, we can go on very high settings, and it seems to be able to play games without really much lag at all, really. Let me turn my volume up. And like I said, you got a really big, beautiful display on here. The display is one of my favorite things about this phone. It's just really color accurate. Awesome. Oh, he is just on my team. The only thing about phone games is the controls, and the screen is kind of small. Like, that's how I usually play on the computer, but phone games have never been a thing that I really love to do. They are bringing League of Legends to mobile, which is something that I'm super interested in. So you'll probably see me playing that from now on when it does come out. But as you can see, you know, it's fine. Everything looks great. Everything is awesome. So for gaming, this is pretty good. You can play PUBG, Fortnite, all playable on this phone, no problem. So there's only a single firing speaker on this phone, and I guess it would have been nice to have dual speakers since it is such a big phone, but let's go ahead and play them for you guys so you can hear it at max volume. So I mean, it sounds fine. Bass presence is fine. It's not like the craziest sounding speakers that I've heard, especially from a single firing. It's loud enough. It has a little bit of thump. Mids and highs are okay. Yeah, so the speakers are fine. They're loud enough if you like to listen to music out loud on your phone or whatever. But like I said, you know, it's easy to block this. So dual speakers would have been nice, but the speaker quality, it's not distorting or anything, so it's fine. So getting into the phone, so you have a in-display fingerprint scanner, which again, it's just like the A50 one. It's not like super fast, but it works. I've never had like an issue with it not reading my fingerprint, but it's like not the fastest. I don't use the in-display fingerprint scanner on this phone really because it has face unlock and it's super fast to just unlock with your face, which is something that I like. I can't see me because I'm behind the camera, but face unlock is fast, trust me. And this phone does have NFC, so for your mobile payments, that is there. Now you don't have any kind of splash proof rating or any IP rating, so do note that. So if you get it wet, you know, it could break. But overall, for features, it comes with what you would expect for this price point. Definitely not an issue. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras on here. So you have a triple camera setup, so 32 megapixel standard, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. You have 4K video as well, which I will show you, in a 32 megapixel selfie camera. Just before we talk about the image quality, I'll just take you to the camera application here. You can see video. It's really, you know, the classic Samsung UI. You have Bixby Vision in your AR emoji, which I love to play around with. The Pro mode on here is really nice. I really like the layout on here as well. And you know, this camera definitely needed the Pro mode because sometimes color would be off, and also you're gonna need to play with the ISO. But overall, I think the auto, you know, camera thing is fine. It has a night mode, which honestly doesn't work that well. So that's one of the main things for this phone. So let's talk about the pictures. So image quality is pretty good. It's the classic case with phones around like the mid-ranges at this price range, or from last year or 2019. everything is fine when you're in good lighting. So dynamic range, detail, everything looks good, as you can see. So no real issues with the shot, and that is for the ultra wide. It did a pretty good job too. But it's when you take away just a little bit of light from this phone, then you start to see the images aren't that much appealing, especially if it's just like a sort of muddy day outside. Then images aren't gonna look super fantastic. But everything looks good for this price range, so don't get me wrong, it's taking some really good pictures. Depth of field is really nice on here as well. Just if you take away light, you're gonna lose the detail pretty much. If you have a good lighting, this camera performs excellent. You're gonna see that with the selfie image. I took two, I added some light and then I took some away, and you can see a dramatic difference in softness as well. But overall, image quality is pretty good on the A70. Also, I'll go ahead and let you guys hear the mic quality in the video indoors and outdoors. Alright guys, here's the video and the mic quality on the A70. It's a little blurry. It takes a second to focus. If I tap to focus, it's better, but like the autofocus is a little iffy. Like I have to tap it to focus. Alright guys, here is the video indoors. As you can see, again, kind of have to tap to focus, but like the autofocus isn't super, like it's a little slow. But let me know what you think of the video quality. I think it looks okay. I think it looks terrible. Now let's talk about battery life. So battery life is really good on this phone. You have a 4,500 milliamp battery, some pretty nice fast charging as well at 25 watts. Of course, you're not going to get any wireless charging on this phone, but battery life is super solid on this phone. I had no issues getting through like a day of battery life with this guy, so I was really happy with that. So even if you're like a kind of like a gamer, I still think you can get through a full day battery life, no problem. If you're a light user, easily get through a full day. Especially, I didn't even have the dark mode on or anything like that. So if you turn dark mode on, put like a dark wallpaper, you can get some really good battery life, probably even better battery life. So I was really happy with battery life and standby time. I thought it was super solid. So this is a really good option. Honestly, I'm gonna let you guys know how I feel about the A51 so versus this, but I'll let you guys know tomorrow. But for $218 in the refurbished space, I think this is an excellent buy. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.